Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Odin here, your friendly neighborhood Odin, as it were. Um, Loving that little new catchphrase now that I'm using it. Friendly neighborhood Odin. I am Odin, and I'm pretty friendly most of the time, and I live in a neighborhood of sorts. It's kind of a retirement neighborhood, which is always fun, because they means I have to keep my lawn nice and manicured very well. So, anyway, we're getting on this some old stuff, man. And as I went through this, I found that I had gotten kind of lazy with some stuff, and I didn't particularly like how lazy it was looking. So, um, trying to fix old drawings that are part of the book without having to redraw the whole damn page. The results have been rather mixed, but that said, we're doing it. Yeah, and so this one, can't remember what page this is, but as I was going through, I just saw that I was getting real sloppy, and a lot of it is I get to know that I've grown as an artist, and some things just don't look right later upon second inspection, and honestly try not to redo all this stuff and start over or mess with something that is theoretically already done. But there's a time and place, and today is the time and here's the place. So that's what we're doing. May need to grab my big fat whiteout pen for some of this, because even as I'm trying to fix it, I'm like, it doesn't, trying too hard to polish a turd almost, but it's not a turd. It's not that bad, but it's just little things that I'm noticing. But anyway, I was making this video not to talk about that. I am pulling up old drawings to try to fix them, and I get that as potentially dangerous, but I like to live dangerously sometimes. That's why I do most of my stuff in ink, but then you run into these problems. Frank Frazetta always said, pencil well. And here he is, the master, and I don't even listen to him. Oh well. But I didn't want to talk about that. It was Father's Day the other day, and I just uploaded a video of something my siblings made for Father's Day, and they shared on their social media, and I just uploaded it to my YouTube. It was a song my brother sang and wrote. He wrote and sang it at my dad's funeral. So New Year's Day of this year, my father shuffled off this mortal coil, as Shakespeare would say, and went on to the next life, and left us with the memories. Mostly good memories. And so this Father's Day was a very contemplative one, because usually Father's Day, we live in different states, and I would call him and he would tell me about what was going on in his life, and ask how things were going with me, and it'd be a long 3-hour conversation of just he'd tell me about his fly fishing, his four-wheel drive trips, his Bible studies and things that he was working on. Very proud to talk about those things to me, and I remember at times it would feel very, very tedious to listen to that. Not gonna lie, but here it was Father's Day, and I was missing it. That said, I had a really nice post from my oldest daughter thanking me, and she found some pictures that I hadn't even seen before of her and I when she was a baby, and very touching. Happy Father's Day to me from her. But the day of Father's Day, I had my youngest, just my youngest. It's just the way it worked out. It was a special weekend for her, and we went swimming pretty much all day, and not just sitting around in a pool. We were lap swimming. We were diving. We were diving down to the bottom of the pool, grabbing quarters and bringing them up, just very active day of swimming, several hours. And she's like a little fish. She could just go forever. But the reason we went swimming is because her sisters, at whatever point, they got a little more self-conscious about wearing swimsuits, which I get. I always appreciate that they err on the side of modesty, but I think it's a little more about not feeling comfortable yet, and which is fine. It's all understandable, so I don't push it. But then when I have all of them, I go, hey, let's go swimming. They're like, no, 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 no. And the youngest is like, yay. And so I usually just don't do it with all of them, but since it was just her and I, we went and had a blast. Got her a new bathing suit and went there to the pool and swam all day. And then all night I had 3 softball games, so I was just exhausted, which was great because had Father's Day not had so much activity involved with it for me, I might have been a little mopey because when my siblings posted that video, yeah, it I got choked up for sure. Made me realize how much I missed my dad and how much I appreciated who he was as a man and as a father. But it got me thinking again about who I am as a father. So I spent the day with my youngest, thought about my my other daughters and what my role is in their lives. One thing that's I always say that's the handy thing about dying is you become everyone's hero. But you know, the more you grieve somebody, the stronger the memories get, the stronger that fondness of who they were sets in. You know, you underappreciate it when people are alive, and you can't help but overappreciate it when they're gone. And so I was doing that a lot with my dad, and again, made me think of like, what is my role as a dad? So as it was Father's Day, I'm uploading this. This is 2 days removed from Father's Day. I will say to all the dads out there, happy belated Father's Day. Just know that your role and responsibility can never be understated as a father. It is vitally important to the lives of your children that you take it seriously and do your best. That said, you're gonna fail. We all will. And we all do. But the biggest thing is having it at the forefront of your mind, the awesome responsibility and power you wield of influence in your child's life, or children, if you have multiple, which are the true fathers. If you just have one, I don't want to say that. I do have friends with just one. They're just as much fathers, but I give them shit because I'm like, it's different. It's different when you only have one. But so as I think about this role of a father, what it means to be a father, and why it's so vitally important, got me thinking also about the dichotomy of what a mother means to a child and what a father means to a child. And it is one of those weird things, as you start celebrating fathers on Father's Day, there's always this weird backlash, like, mothers are important too. And it's like, well, no shit. You know, like, nobody's saying they're not. You have Mother's Day, you have Father's Day. Like, why do you have to, or the, you know, and I've known several and commend them and think extremely highly of them, especially the ones that do an awesome job. But this, sometimes single moms come out of the woodwork like, I'm the father also, you know, and it's like, you're not, you know, you'll never be. And it sucks. There's a situation of, you know, just be super mom on Mother's Day because you deserve that kind of up credit, you know, not to diminish moms in the role where both parents are there, but I'm just saying moms who had to play both roles, you aren't a father. I'm sorry. Your role as a mother is so vitally important and it'll never be diminished. I can't overstate one or the other. You know, like I can't overstate how important my mom was in my life or how important my dad was in my life. But some of that weirdness seems to come from this sense of resentment. Like, my kids don't have a strong male in their life, so I have to step up and play that role. very understandable, and it's a hard position to have to be in. You know, even if it was the converse, the guy doing it the other way. But it's obviously more typical that a mom would have to play both parts there. But that same weird feeling of like my kids didn't have a strong male in their life, so I had to step up to do that is very similar to daddy issues, you know, that happen. And one thing that I care very much about is being there for my daughters in a way that they never have daddy issues. Because what happens is that kind of resentment, and it's all stems from not having a strong male in the position they're supposed to be in. Whether it was in your childhood or in your child raising, that role should be filled by who it should be filled by. And like I said, conversely, the same could be said about moms, but it's just more typical that it's not the moms that are missing, you know, or lacking in those ways. So, but I take it very serious because every woman I've met, whether it is a resentment towards their fathers, whether they weren't there or they just weren't that good at it, or not caring or cruel or abusive or whatever, or the ones that have had great fathers and were supportive and were there and took that responsibility very serious. I've seen it in both. And, you know, it's not like I polled every woman about their relationship with their father, but I would say like most likely girlfriends and women that I've been involved with, where you get to that honest, kind of vulnerable talk about life and how you were raised and all this stuff. You know, start talking about those kind of things. All of the ones that I've got to that level of conversation with have all said the same thing, whether positive or negative, is that the role of their dad was extremely important in their lives, especially when they were teenagers. And that is an interesting point because they always point out when we were teenagers. So my daughters are getting to that age. Well, my oldest is definitely at that age. And hearing that sentiment echoed from the women, I go, here, I'm going to give you some advice as a dad with daughters. The importance, can't overstate the importance that you play. Now, what's funny and the cruel joke of that is that they see that in hindsight as they're adults, but as they're teenagers, they have this weird, like, I don't want anything to do with you, you know, like, you're not the cool, like, when my girls were, when they were little, man, I could do no wrong. We just do fun stuff, everything we did, and they listened to everything I told them. You know, they were just, we had a great, easy relationship. It's still a great relationship, but it's not as easy. They're fighting me. They have more independence, and I don't want to fully discourage that, obviously, because that's a thing there's a part of that to nurture, because they're going to go on to the next step, which is becoming their own independent women in their own lives. And I'm not going to like control them and make them dependent on me. I want them to be strong and capable on their own. So you have to take the good with the bad with that, but that's the hard part, is like trying to be a dad in the moment when you know it's most vitally important, and they're the most resistant to your advice, your concern. Like, they don't want to open up to me about, you know, I'll get them to open up every once in a while, but they don't want to open up about their problems in lives, and, you know, thinking, oh, he's dad, he's a dude, he's you know, he doesn't understand. And in a certain sense, that's true. So all I can do is just be as present as possible and influential as possible, just always there, like always inviting them, always bringing them, trying to get them out of that shell, constantly reminding them of how beautiful they are, because that's another thing. Like, they have to know. Fathers with daughters, they have to know that you think the absolute world of them. You think they are the most beautiful creatures on this planet. Why? Because they need that so that when they find a man who's going to sweep them off their feet, he's going to do the same. They're going to expect that as the rule from the man they were modeled, you know? And constantly tell them how beautiful they are, constantly reminding them how intelligent they are, how capable they are, in all aspects. That beauty that they have physically, while awesome, is nothing compared to the beauty of their own strong will, powerful nature, their ability to learn, their ability to find solutions to problems. And so constantly teaching them and letting them see things from a critical point of view and opening their minds up as much as possible to see things beyond what the surface shows them, you know. And it's like they're resistant and they're teenagers, they think they know everything. So, but everyone knows that your parents get smarter the older you get, so you're constantly playing that game. But if you just, like a lot of I've heard of this with a lot of girls saying their dads just checked out, you know, as they became teenagers. They didn't know how to deal with what they were going through as young ladies, and I get that. So that's my role, is just to be right there, present, ready, always doing my best, because that will come back. It will be a reminder as they grow older. So I am following the advice of all the women, adult women that I've met, talking about their teenage years and what was important. So dads with daughters, keep that in mind, especially as they are in their teenage years and it's the roughest. That's when you gotta dig deep, push the hardest, try your best, and really love on them, and be a rock for them. That's solid. So that's the thing about parents, is everything is about the security of your children. And moms provide that in such a different way than fathers, I would say. In my mind, it's different, and, you know, in my mind, it's supposed to be different. But, and personalities play a role as far as, like, it's sometimes a little more, a little less, but moms have, like, this unwavering, never-ending care that a kid just knows. Like, a mom's gonna think the world of the kid no matter what they do. And dads too, but it's, with dad, it's more like earned. So say a child brings home something they worked on at school. The mom instantly, and again, these are stereotypes, so forgive me if it's not always this cut and dry, which it never is, but typically the mom would be more likely to just take that thing that the child worked on and be like, this is amazing, you're the best, you're awesome, hang it up on the fridge, and just let the child know that she thinks the world of them. Whereas a father is more likely to come out a little more truthfully and be like, you know, that's pretty good, but I think you could do better. It's a little more of a coach mindset. But that's a balance. That's what's needed. Because otherwise, life is endless participation trophies, and the child thinks they're amazing when they've never earned anything. So you have to have that balance. You have to have that push. And just in general, dads are better at that. We're also more likely, again, the moms have this unwavering care for the safety of the child and the health and well-being of the child, whereas dads we're throwing them in more dangerous situations. We're telling them to suck it up. We're, you know, just a little harder about things. Again, this is why that works, why the balance works. And I get it, it doesn't always work because the parents don't always take responsibility and do what they're supposed to do. It's a shitty situation, you hear it all the time. But if you're listening to me right now and you're a father, take it serious, man. The amount of influence and your decision making and how you present and model what a man is, it's invaluable. And that's, I'm talking from a dad of daughters, but same with boys, like I just talked about my dad earlier, like what he meant to me and what he symbolized. Again, the dad power comes from this strength and power, and there's not that reverence and respect that there used to be for fathers. But that's where it comes from, is they're a symbol of security. So again, the mom's security is in a different, more nurturing sense, and the dad's security is more in a provider, powerful kind of sense. A strength of body, which is undeniable typically. There's very few relationships out there where the woman is physically stronger than the man. I'm sure they exist, obviously, but it's the exception. And that's our job, to be physically strong. That's on the lower tier, but to be mentally strong, that's the next step up. That is so important. Constantly learning. For one, it helps you protect your family. It helps you earn for your family. It helps you provide. But also it sets, again, a precedent that your daughters will see, or your sons will see, on either how to act or how to expect men to act. So mentally strong, constantly trying new things and getting better at what you do. And then the most important of all, and there's some scientific study, I don't know where, it's somewhere on the internet, I'm sure, but a study that showed, and that is mental strength, or emotional strength. Mental strength I just covered. Emotional strength. And whatever study I saw said that the emotional strength or well-being of a father was the best predictor of success for a child's life as an adult. So wherever you are as a dad, if you're not there, do what you have to get there. And I would say the most important thing is humble confidence. A humility about yourself, but a confidence in yourself. And if you don't have it, it's kind of like one of the keys to an excellent spirit. And people will recognize it. They'll see that you're capable, confident, able, and people definitely pick up on that. But if they see humility with that, I mean, you're gold. You're a true example for the next generation. Because one without the other is either arrogance or weakness, and we don't want either of those. So, I think that's it's just, you want to be that person. As much as possible, your kids need you to be that person. That when the shit goes down, you can make the hard choices. That you're capable, you're strong enough physically, you're strong enough mentally, and you're strong enough emotionally to take charge of a situation, do what needs to be done, handle your shit. And, as men, we've struggled with that. You have moments where you do good and you have moments where you don't, but that's the goal, is to be that person that even the other men, and I mean, that's the real goal, is to where other men recognize it, look to you when the time comes to take charge of a situation. That's leadership. And if you're not there, it all starts with discipline. Gotta have it. Dedication, loyalty, responsibility, commitment. These things are not scary words. They're important words. They're absolutely vital words. But they're not just words. They're what you need to live by. What we all need to live by. Create your credo. What you need to become that. And if you're not where you need to be, look to a model of success that you see embodies those things. If it wasn't your father, hopefully you had a coach or a mentor. If it wasn't anyone personally, maybe you have a friend. Hopefully you're surrounding yourselves with people that lift you up and provide also an example in their own life, and you can provide an example in your life, and you can sharpen iron. as the biblical phrase goes. As iron sharpens iron, so one man strengthens another. I think that's how it goes. But the iron sharpening iron is a valuable thing. And so surround yourself with people that are moving forward just like you need to be, and you can raise each other up. And if you can't find it any of those places, worst case scenario, find it in literature, find it in a celebrity or something. Even if you see one that models the characteristics, at least you can see what it looks like. But deep down, we all know what it looks like, and then getting there is the hard part. But it starts with little decisions, day by day decisions, to be excellent and to do your best and to buck some discipline and put a little extra commitment towards what you're doing and what your responsibilities are. So and when it comes down to it, I tell my kids this all the time, that when you're feeling off or out of sorts, this is old Jordan Peterson thing, even though it's been around longer than him, but like the whole clean your room, that became like a mantra. But that's what I tell my kids. It doesn't have to be your room. It just has to be, make something in your environment nice, clean, make it nice. And once you do that, there's all kind of benefits that come from that. There's no understating how important productivity is to your psyche. Like getting up and doing something when you don't want to. And I've done that where you wake up, you don't want to do anything, and you force yourself to clean one thing, and trust me, before you know it, you got the apron on, you're cleaning the whole freaking house, and the next thing you know, you got a spotless house, and it's like a blank slate, and the feeling is wonderful. I mean, it's, again, what they show is like, so like I said, you're being productive. That has tremendous benefits on your psyche, but so does your environment being clean have huge benefits on your psyche. So those two things right there, but also, again, the building block. You take one step, it gives you that motivating factor, that confidence to just keep rolling with it, snowball with it, do more. And like I said, cleaning the whole house, you don't have to have the apron. I don't do that, but or do I? But before you know it, you're gaining some confidence. You're feeling better about yourself. You're feeling better about your environment, and whatever it is. Maybe your house is clean and you're still feeling off. Go clean your car. Go clean. Go run. That's another one. When my kids get too anxious and weird, it's like, can we just go run? We just got to go run. I don't care if we go outside and play tag. I don't care if we just run around the block. Physical energy exertion does something for you. It definitely releases, hormones that make you feel better. Something coming from physical exhaustion makes you feel better, because we're meant to be in motion and active. So whatever it is, these things are pursuits, and I'm not the best at it. I'm sitting here preaching about it, but it's always in the front of my mind, so that way I can never fully let my guard down. You may have a day where you suck, but you don't stay there, because you've got people depending on you and looking up to you. It's the most important thing, and it's the greatest gift on this earth, is to have that responsibility on your shoulders. And the stronger you can make those shoulders, where you can bear big loads, it's everything, man. So to all you dads out there, I'm proud of you. I think you're rocking it. Just keep kicking ass and keep pushing forward to be the best ever. And you'll never be the best ever, and you'll never be able to do your best ever, but the point is that you're trying. I had a friend come to me, and he was just like, almost like feeling down about himself. He's like, I want to do this for my daughter. I want to do this for my kids, and I want to be this, and I want to be that. And I'm like, and I knew him as a man. I knew he was a great dad, like just phenomenal, but he was beating himself up. And I'm like, dude, the reason you're a great dad is because you think of this. It's always at the front of your mind to be a better dad. So don't beat yourself up. You're a good dad because you're always wanting to be the best. Like, and that was the beauty of it is like, um, sure he had his stuff that he did, but I remember he was like, if I spend so much money on some fishing gear or something, then I have to spend so much on my daughter. Like I can't enjoy myself more than I give to them. And it kept it in the checks and balance of his own life, but it was beautiful, and that's what I say. As long as they stay at the forefront of your thoughts all the time, yeah, you're doing it right. And just never settle. I guess that's another thing. Never settle for mediocre, anything less than pure awesome. So be excellent. Now, I'm rambling, motivational talk, but damn it, it was Father's Day, and all you fathers are doing great, and you can always do better. So we're just throwing that out there. Maybe it's just motivation for me, because I always love that. I get psyched when people tell me, you're doing a great job, but you could do better. It was probably years of playing sports or something, but that's coach talk. Anyway, this is Odin. Again, hope you're doing awesome. I hope all you fathers out there had a great Father's Day and that you're rocking it. And until next time, where hopefully I'm not working on old pages, because I'm just about done like cleaning up some shit on some old pages, and I'm back to drawing some new stuff. Yeah, but for now, that's where we're at. So hopefully next time that's what we're doing. Till then, though, this is Odin. See you later. Take care.